Okay, so thank you so much for coming out tonight for New to Nuts. My name is Kelly Dreschler. I am the product sales manager here at the council. I work out of the Comac office. I've been with the council for about 16 years, 8 in membership, 8 in product sales. So I'm pretty well-rounded and I'm pretty good at answering some of your questions on both ends if needed. So I'm going to share my screen. Just bear with me. I'm techie enough, but not crazy techie. I just got to find my screen I want to share. Okay. Here we go. Okay. Gonna move you. Slideshow from beginning. Okay, so the slideshow is pretty much just so sometimes we get off on tangents and I don't want to forget anything. So it's pretty much me just keeping myself on track. So again, this is Mags and Munchies. Thank you so much for coming. Like I said earlier, if you need to sign off, that's fine. It's a very casual training. If you have any questions afterwards, feel free to email us, productsales@gssc.us. It's all over your paperwork. It's all over the website. We're emails usually pretty much easier for us because we are still working hybrid. So email's very easy for us to respond to. Sometimes our apps on our phones don't work very well. We get dropped calls a lot. So just a heads up on that. Okay, so we're going to start by quickly going over the 5 reasons your troop should participate in the product sales. So obviously they learn goal setting, decision making, money management, people skills, and business ethics. So the thing is, while the girls are learning these things, they don't even realize they're learning these things. When you first have your meeting with your troop about the product sale, about nuts, about magazines, they should be setting a goal as a group. What do they want to do with the money that's earned for selling the product? When they're daisies, their goal should be Build-A-Bear, things like that. As they progressively get older, the goals get larger. We've had girls save up and go as ambassadors go to Europe. We've had girls save up and as cadets go to Savannah. We have girls that really have large goals, but they progress as they get older. But the troops should be setting that goal so they know what they're striving for, which brings us back into decision making, which kind of stems with the goal setting. So they don't even realize, like I said, that they're learning these educational goals as they're participating in the program. Money management, again, as they progressively get older, they should be handling the money at boot sales. They should be handling the money with their customers. They should be dealing with their customers. And that brings us to people skills, which is a skill all the girls can learn and you'll need any job you have in life. So, and which also brings us to business ethics. Whether you are a stay-at-home mom or you work in a corporate world, business ethics always comes into play. So we always want our girls to be ethical and be honest and fair, which is part of our Girl Scout law. Okay, so we're going to start the session by going through the paperwork. So there's some things on here that we didn't print this year. So if you've done nuts or cookies in the past, we've always given you the Bible, that book that was 25 pages long and 99% of you never opened. So we decided this year to try to go digital. So we have put the guidebook on our website. After we're done, I'll show you exactly where to find everything. The guidebook is actually, it has the links embedded in it. So if you look to the right-hand side where it says cupboards open, it's a link. So if you click on that, it'll bring you right to the cupboard hours. So it's a little bit more friendlier and easier to find stuff on the website because the guidebook has all those live links in it. Okay, the guidebook is going to give you all your dates, tips on how to do everything, different stages of the sale. So it's really a good tool. If you felt like printing it, it's 4 pages back front. We really downsized it this year. Okay. Then we have our nut order card, which I think is pretty self-explanatory. One side has all the products and the prices, and the other side has all the girls' rewards. So the rewards are cumulative. Okay, so what happens is, I'm going to explain that a little bit. I'm just moving my little box of people's heads out of the way. So if a girl was to sell 100 units, she would get all of the rewards up until that point. She wouldn't just get the reward for 100 units. Now, a unit consists of a nut item is 1 unit, and a magazine counts as 2 units. Okay, we do that because we know magazines is a harder sale. So we want to give the girls kind of like double credit for that. A magazine can also, in case anybody doesn't know, we sell magazines paper and we also sell them digitally. So if someone wants to buy a digital version of a magazine, it's an option also. A new nut item this year, which we're going to talk about in a little bit too, I'll bring it up again, I'm sure, is the Everything Seasoned cashews. They're brand new. They have that everything bagel seasoning on them, and they are fantastic. So that is our new item for the year. I'm going to show you in a little bit the new tins for this year. They're super cute. You can't really see them in this picture, but I have a bigger picture in a couple slides from now. Okay, so we're gonna move on to, yeah.
There's someone in the waiting room that wants to come in.
Oh, okay, hold on.
Thank you.
Sorry about that. Okay. Everybody's coming in. Okay. So next would be the parent permission slip. Your troop will be given one of these for each girl in your troop. Okay. This to me is the most important piece of paperwork during the sale, whether it's cookies or nuts. Do not give out any product to any parent, any family without having this on file. Okay. I mentioned earlier that half of my career I was in the membership department. When I was in the membership department, I was allowed to be the product sale mom, so I was allowed to help out with the product sales. So what happened to me was I had a mom, sorry, my finger flicked and I am not going backwards. And what happened was, and this is true story, is they never paid their cookie bill. And they started to dodge me. Oh, I had a family emergency. I heard all the excuses. And she owed $500. So as the person responsible for the product sale for the troop, it then turns into, it would be my job to try to collect it or pay it if I didn't do the proper paperwork. I did. I had her parent agreement. What happens in that case is we have an additional form to fill out, which is called an outstanding form, which I hope none of you will ever have to fill out ever. And you have to attach the signed permission slip. So without that, the troop would be responsible for that money. Okay. So you can save these permission slips however you like. Okay. A couple of years ago, someone mentioned that they take pictures of it and they email it to themselves. That is perfectly fine. Okay. I am perfectly fine with that. I don't need the original. I just need you to show me a signed permission slip by that parent. So again, most important piece of paperwork, I feel, in the program. You don't ever want to have to owe money for someone else. Okay. So just have them sign that before you give any product out. I recommend getting it signed before you even give them the paperwork. Okay. But at the end of the day, don't give them any product without having this signed. Okay. How are we looking, Melinda, on questions? Are we good?
All good.
Okay. Moving along. So your troop full manager agreement is online. Again, I'll show you in a little bit on our website where you can find it. In order to be given access to the M2 site, so you can monitor all of your sales and do all your work for the sale for your troop, you need to fill this form out so we know you exist. Okay. Once you fill it out, it comes directly to my email. It goes directly to your service unit chair's email. Okay. And then we know you exist. So then we add you into the system. In order to be the full troop manager, you do need to be registered and you also need to be background checked. It is acceptable for troops to use troop funds to pay for the troop full manager and also the cookie manager. That is acceptable use of money from the troop funds. Okay. Most people don't want you to pay for it, but it is acceptable to use money for that. Okay. In case we have a couple new people here and they don't quite understand what I'm saying when I say service unit, I'm just going to stop for a second and explain it a little bit. Think of a service unit as your town or your school district. Okay. So when I say service unit, for instance, Laura and I, both our children go to Sachem, okay? So Sachem is so large that we're 2 service units, okay? So we're service unit 3 and 18. Blue Point, Bayport Blue Point is 1 service unit 32. So when I say service unit, just think your school district or your town, okay? Each service unit has an appointed coordinator. She's appointed, or he is appointed by the council from the membership department as the coordinator. Think of, they're all women right now, so think of her as the little president of your service unit, okay? She then has a team of volunteers. They have a service unit full manager, a service unit cookie manager, a treasurer, events people, you name it, there's a job for it, okay? So just in case you're brand spanking new, and sometimes we forget that Girl Scouts is a little bit like a foreign language. You know, I just wanted to make sure everybody understood when I said service unit, what that means, okay? So that is your service unit full troop manager agreement. In order to gain access, you have to fill this out and we will get you in there probably within the next day. If it's a weekend, give us till that Monday, okay? You'll then receive a welcome email from the system, and then you just get in and you go create your avatar, and it's a video to watch and you'll be all good, okay? Okay, I'm not flicking. Okay, so ACH forms. So this year, I'm going to act as if we don't have a single ACH form on file from the past. We're starting a new way of work. I'm going to go over it in a little while. So every single troop, even though they're supposed to do this every year anyway, every single troop needs to fill out a brand new ACH form and attach a check, a voided check. If you don't have a voided check, usually the bank will give you a printout, you know, of your banking information for, you know, purposes like this. But I need all this information brand new and up to date, okay? We're gonna come up with a new way to get you your rebates. And we just wanna make sure that we have all the proper information, nothing old. And we just wanna make sure we're dealing with correct data, okay? So if you are just the troop chair, you will not have access to this. But you do wanna forward this and let the leaders know that we need this, okay? They have access to the troops bank account and then the information, okay? So if anybody needs any help with that, feel free to ask us. Again, all of these form links are on our website, and I will show you exactly where they all are as soon as we're done going over the materials. Okay, next is the pretty magazine flyer. The magazine flyer is, you will receive 1 for each parent, okay? It's kind of like a little cheat sheet for the parent, okay? On the back side of this flyer, it shows them step by step on how to get into the site and get their daughter's site up and running, okay? This is just a couple cheat sheets here, you know, with important dates, how to spread the word. There's a QR code reader, there's a QR code there that helps them go straight to a Standabout reservation form if they choose to do a Standabout with their child. I'll go over that in a little bit. So we tried to make this as friendly as possible. You know, and to give them a little bit of information so they can get the ball rolling with their girl and get their sale going. Ketchup forms, just like last year, if you were with us last year, due to COVID, we had to do like reservations when you came down to the cupboards because we didn't want too many people there at once, standing on top of each other and things like that. It worked out so well that no matter whether we're COVID or not, I think we're still going to continue doing it, okay? So the Ketchups will be a reservation only online. Just like in the past, you go on, you fill your information, you're gonna pick what cupboard you wanna go to, you're gonna pick the time, you're gonna tell us what you're picking up, and we could pre-pull it and have it waiting there for you. Opposed to back in the day when you would just show up, sit on a line, then tell us, have to wait for us to pull it. It was just such a smoother process that it's something that good came out of the situation. So we're definitely gonna keep that into play. Okay. Initial sale receipts. So this was something morphed in from when I used to be the product sale mom for my daughter's troop. The first year I was the product sale mom, they were 15, I think there were 15 daisies in the troop. And I remember it was cookie time. I know we're doing nuts, but it's the same, you know, same idea. And what happened was they all handed me their cookie order cards. And I like this kind of stuff. So I was like, yeah, it's cookie order time. I get to do the data entry. Like I was all excited. Nobody totaled the card. And what should have taken me maybe a half an hour was taking me hours, because it's not so much the adding, it was the reading people's handwriting. It was horrible. It was like reading hieroglyphics. So this was something I created for myself, that in the next year, I didn't ask for their order cards. I basically gave the parents a Word document that said, just give me your totals. I don't even need your order card. Just tell me exactly what you need. Let them tally up the order card. You'll never have to touch it. You don't even have to worry about losing it and then getting it back to them. And this was so much easier. So this is what we created. We're calling it the initial sale order and receipt. So instead of collecting the girls' order cards, you can have the parents fill out this receipt. It's a carbon copy. And that way you don't ever have to touch their order card or worry about, it is one of those saving tools on time. Okay. So you could do that. Now for fall, there is an option for the parents to input their order cards into the system for you. So it's up to you as the troop to decide how you want your way of work to be. Okay. Do you want the parents to do this and then still give you the form so then you can just double check their handiwork? Or do you just want to do it all yourself? You just have to really tell the parents what you want. You have to remember, and this is your show, okay? This is not their show. This is yours. You make the rules, you make the deadlines. I'm not saying be harsh or, crazy about it, but you're the one who volunteered to do this. So you're not going to be going out of your way for them. They should be going out of their way for you. Okay. So let's try to keep that in the back of our minds, because I know there's, and I'm one of them. I'll be the first culprit. That's like, you need one can of something, I'll drive it to your house. That's not your job. You're not Peapod. Okay. So it's really not part of your job to be doing things like that. So really stand strong, because if you become that person who's kowtowing to everybody, you become burnt out. Okay. And you don't want that. You really don't want that, because being a volunteer for Girl Scouts can be fantastic if you do it the right way from the get-go. Okay. So this was one of those little tools that came up with, I just want to put out there that we're giving you these tools. Okay. It's up to you to decide how to use them. For instance, the cookie receipt books, if anybody knows what I'm talking about, those tiny little receipt books that are horrid. I hate those. They're like made for like someone who writes extremely tiny, which is not me. So I never use those. I created my own receipts. That's perfectly fine. Okay. If you don't like something that we've created for you to use, create it on your own. That's fine too. Just little tidbits. I don't recommend ever taking someone's order verbally. Always get it in writing. Okay. Get it in an email. Don't just have them call you and say, I need 12 cases of, peanut butter patties, and you never get them, and they're like, I never ordered these. Well, you know what? Get it in writing. That way you want your proof. Okay. It's sad to say that I think everybody on this meeting right here is super honest, because you're here to help out. But unfortunately, not everybody has common sense in the world, and not everybody is as honest as we want them to be. So you want to make sure that you're covering yourself and the troop by getting these things in writing. Okay. Giving receipts. Okay. Whenever you collect money from someone, give a receipt. Anytime you give product to someone, give a receipt. You want everybody to understand where they're at that point. Okay. The next one is similar to our initial receipt, but it's just a basic receipt. So after the initial sale, like I said, whenever you give product, give a receipt. I'm going to say it again. Anytime you collect cash, checks, anything, give a receipt. If you don't like these, go to the dollar store and get little receipt books. I don't care. But I have to tell you, we're working on still collecting money from cookies. And it's the worst feeling when I have to call someone, or one of my staff calls someone, and they owe like $3,000, and they're like, I have no idea who owes it. They didn't keep any records. They didn't do any receipts. At that point, there's not much I can do to help them figure anything out. But if you have a paper trail, I can say, send me all you got, and let's try to back into it. And we're more than happy to help you out with that stuff. But if you have nothing, I don't know who you got stuff for. I don't know who gave you money. So use these tools, create your own tools just to keep yourself sane. Okay. gonna go on to, so these are, the next two items are two new items for this year. One is the social media toolkit. You could go online and share this link with the parents. It's basically created all these social media shares. You could get Zoom backgrounds. I should really download one. You could do Zoom backgrounds, all these really cute social media things that the parents and yourself can use on Facebook and Twitter, and things like that. It's already pre-made, so you don't have to like recreate the wheel or anything like that. I have to say M2 and the Trophy Nut Company really stepped up their game this year with giving us a lot of tools. The social media toolkit and our next, the troop meeting activity toolkit. It is 26 pages long. It's on our website and has activities for all age ranges to keep them engaged, maybe while you're doing the parent meeting, or to get them excited about setting their goals. I'll show you again on the website where it is, and we'll go through a couple of the pages just to show you how great it is. But they really stepped up their game this year. I think they're really trying to mirror a lot of what the cookie company does. So it really is, and they do a fantastic job, the cookie company. So it's really nice to see that they stepped up their game this year and really gave us some really good tools to use. Okay, so we're gonna go over a couple things for what's new this year. Obviously the patches, the avatar patches change every year and they go with the theme. So this year it is Antarctica with the penguins. So they can do their tents on the ice melt. I'm not quite sure I'm using the right word, or they could do their Greenpeace boat with their ice on the iceberg, with their penguins on the iceberg. They could be in their Arctic gear. They could be in Girl Scout uniforms. They can be in whatever the options are there. So these are their two background choices. They're super cute this year. The theme this year is the Emperor Penguin. They tend to pick an endangered species when they pick their mascots to try to give light to a special animal that year. In order to earn this patch, the girls have to sell $350 worth of product, magazines and nuts, and the wholesale, initial, Ketchup, boot sale, Standabouts, everything. As soon as they hit the mark, the system automatically generates their patch and mails it directly to them. So the troop leader doesn't even touch this, it goes directly to them, okay? So they have to sell $350 worth of mags and munchies, and they have to send out 18 emails. Now, a little tidbit about the emails. I have 3 daughters, okay? My oldest is a senior in high school, which I've been crying a lot. And I have twins in 7th grade, okay? They're all girls, they're all Girl Scouts. There is no way I have 60 emails, unique emails to send out to family and friends. So you can, as a person who has multiple children doing Scouts, you can reuse some of the emails, so they can all hit that 18 email mark, okay? I tend to try to divvy it up a little bit. Like if I know Uncle Tony's gonna purchase, I'll send that one just for Becca. If I know my sister's gonna purchase, I'll send that one just for Megan. So that way I'm not asking my relatives to purchase 3 times and they don't feel obligated to purchase from all 3 girls. But you could do it however you like, but I just wanted to put that out there. If you have multiple children, you can reuse some of the emails. So that way it doesn't, like there's no way I have 60 original emails. Don't panic, you can reuse some of them, okay? So new products, again, like I stated before, is the Everything Cashews. They are fantastic. I tried them. They sent me samples. They're fantastic. You're gonna love them. If you love everything, the seasoning, you're gonna love these. Our new tins this year is the super cute Cabin, which is the milk chocolate mint trefoils, those individually wrapped little green candies. Then we have the Winter Village for the chocolate pretzels. And then we have the Penguin tin for the peppermint bark. So they really did a great job on the tins this year. I love how they theme one that's strictly Girl Scouts. So they did a good job on that too. Okay, so this is the big thing that's new this year, is if everybody noticed this year who did product sales last year, we didn't give out deposit slips. Okay, so deposit slips have gone away. We're not going to be asking you to go to any Capital One. There's some sections of the island that don't even have a Capital One anymore. So that has now gone. We're going to try this out for fall. And hopefully, if it goes as smoothly as I'm hoping, it'll be our new way of work for cookies too, okay? We tend to test the waters out on fall because it's such a smaller sale, just to make sure we get any of the hiccups out, and then we can move, smooth sailing for cookies. So what's going to happen is you're going to deposit all of the money that's due that you would normally go to the bank with a deposit slip for into your troop account, okay? You just have to go to your own Troop bank account and put all the money in there. Okay. On November 8th, I'm going to pull the first portion out. And then at the very end of the sale ends on the 17th of November. So I'm giving you quite a bit of time after that to get everything into the bank. On the week of the 29th, one of those days that week, because I can't do everybody on the same day, I have to kind of spread it out. We're going to pull whatever the balance due is. So when you go onto the M2 site, there's a report called the Troop Summary, and it kind of resembles this little chart here that we got going on. So I just pulled up one from last year just to use as a sample. So the money you would be depositing into your bank account would be the collected from customers number. Okay. The system already knows what was collected online. As you can see, there's a line for collected online. So we're not expecting you to pay that, obviously, because it was a credit card that someone paid and it came directly to the council or to M2 or whoever's collecting the money at that time. Okay. So you would have to put in your bank account $1,290. Okay. The next line says your troop proceeds and bonuses. So this troop earned $211 for their rebate. Okay. So at the end of the day, the total amount that the council would pull out would be $1,053. Okay. So you've deposited the $1,290 into your troop account. I've pulled out $1,053 and I've left you with your rebate of $211. Okay. So Melinda, do we have any questions about that? I'm going to pause for a minute because it is brand new. It is a little confusing. You could always touch base with us after if you don't want to ask the question now. But
No,
I think that, go ahead, Melinda.
I have other questions for you though, but not.
Okay, so we'll pause right here. Let everybody mull this around for a minute and Melinda, ask your questions.
Okay, so we have to go over Juliet's, how we're going to handle the Juliet's.
Okay, so Melinda, you usually handle the Juliets. What do you want to do?
I think that it's best that it's handled by the office.
I agree.
So all orders regarding Juliet's will be handled by us.
Okay, so basically, if you need to place an order, you would contact, Belinda is usually my point person for our Juliets. I tend to take some of my staff and make them point people on certain things. So you're not asking questions and getting 3 different answers, or, everyone's not doing the same job. So any questions in regards to Independence or Juliet's, as we call them also, contact Melinda. Okay. Contact her at MG Aquinto. She's on our website at gssc.us. I'm sure most of you probably already have her email address because, me and her are usually the people that really email answers out. So I think that is a good way of work, Melinda, because there could be quite a few Juliets in one service unit.
Right.
And we give each parent contact with the system. Too many hands in the pot makes a mess. So I really think it's a smart idea just to have one point person, which, would be Melinda for any Independence or Juliet's.
Okay, so another question was, they wanted to know if parents can enter their own orders online.
Okay, yes. We touched base on that for a hot minute, a couple slides ago.
Yes.
Parents do have the opportunity to enter the paper card orders. They have until the sales start. We're going to go over it in a little bit. The sale starts on September 20th, and the parents have until October 14th to enter their paper card orders, okay? The 15th through the 17th, then the troop has access to go in and enter any remainder of the orders. So yes, parents do have the access, but I stated it before, just to reiterate again, you make the rules. If you don't want the parents to do that, then tell them from the get-go. You're gonna, of course, get a rogue one here and there, but ask for their totals and then do a quick once over to make sure that they didn't input anything incorrectly. We've had in the past, and Melinda can vouch for me, someone meant to put 9 of an item, they hit 99. So it's a flick of the finger. We can see that it's an error and we do our best to try to help them fix it. But it's good to just do a once over anyway. Just, people do data entry wrong all the time. Hit a 0, meant to hit 10, you hit 100. So yes, they can, but you make the rules.
They want to make sure that on the 20th that there will be a link for them to create the storefront.
Yeah, it's already, you guys went live yesterday, the troops in the service units. And the system is already set up, ready to go to send out the welcome emails to all the girls on the 20th. It's set up by the vendor and it's, as far as I know, all ready to go. They're just waiting for the go ahead, and it's already set up in the system. I believe the emails start going out at about 10 in the morning. So even if the girl doesn't get the welcome email, she could still go on the system and create her site. It's not like cookies where you have to get the welcome email with your unique link. You could just go to gsnutsandmags.com/GSSC and click on login or register, and you could start. You don't actually have to get that welcome email. You can just go on the website and start.
Okay, so checks that are made out to the troop and or GSSC are deposited into the Girl Scout account. So it doesn't matter if it's GSSC on it or the troop number, because it's all the Girl Scout.
Yeah, I wouldn't worry too much about that. If people are used to writing it to GSSC, you can always put a little line next to it and write like troop 222. I don't really foresee that being a big deal. But I do just want to put a little tidbit out there that I wouldn't personally be taking any checks from people you don't know. So I would take checks only from the parents in my troop. I wouldn't be taking third-party checks from their customers, because at this point, if that check bounces, it's going to hit your troop account. Okay, that's one downfall with the new system. So I would say the only checks I would be accepting would be from a parent. Okay, I wouldn't be taking grandma's check or Uncle Tommy's check or anything like that. I would have those checks, those people put those checks into their personal account and then write you one check. That's just the way I would do it if it was my troop. I'm not saying you can't, but you know, that's just, it seems to me like a better way of work, because the last thing you want to happen is to have your troop funds dwindle down by fees. I mean, that's just silly. Okay, next.
They want to make sure that they can still make the payments online.
Yes, payments online are still there. We're going to go over payments online in a little bit, but you shouldn't have to make any payments online. So the whole idea is for you to put it into your bank account and us to pull the money out. If, for instance, if there is a troop, and please remember, this is new to us too, so we're still trying to figure out the exact way of work we're going to be doing this. So this is what we think we're going to do. It could change midway and be like, this isn't working, let's try it this way. If your troop has 100% sales online where there is no money for me to pull at the end of the sale like normal, I would just rebate you. Okay, so it would be just like the olden days where I would just send you a rebate. Okay, so don't panic on that. We're just looking to pull anything that's due to the council. Okay, we're trying to save you a trip to Capital One. You don't have to give your social security numbers and your driver's licenses and, you know, your firstborn to Capital One in order to make a deposit. Okay, so we're trying to make that a little bit easier, and the fact that you'll have your rebate a lot faster. Okay, anything else?
Adding new girls to the troop on the system. I think that we're going to do that because we can verify the registration. Yes. And
Melinda and I will be. What happens is I'm going to backtrack one sec. We add all the girls to the system who were registered for 2021, and anybody who was registered so far for 2022 as of like 9/3. Okay. So if you have a new girl that starts tomorrow, she's not going to be in there. You shoot us an email, we'll add her in. The reason I say that is because we want to put in her correct ID number. So if you do it, you don't really know her ID number or the proper ID number. Just shoot. I added a bunch of girls today. Their troops just registered today. It takes us 2 seconds. We don't mind doing it. It's part of our way of work. And just shoot us an email. There are also going to be kids in there that you're going to see that maybe were there from 2021. Like I said, we do both years, that maybe moved or didn't do Girl Scouts anymore. Just shoot us an email. We'll take those girls out too. Okay. You know, it doesn't matter if they stay in there or not. It's not going to hurt anything on your end. But if you wanted a nice clean record, just let us know. We'll take them out. Okay. Anything else?
Yeah, someone has a Bethpage account. She wants to know if you'll be pulling from that also.
Yes, it doesn't matter what bank you use. You just have to fill out your ACH form and let me know all your banking information, what bank you use, your routing, and your account number. And that way I have it on file. And that way we know where we're pulling it from. It doesn't matter what bank you use.
Okay, we're good.
Okay, moving on. So now we're going to go into the phases. So there are 3 phases to the sale. First is our initial sale phase. It starts September 20th and goes to October 17th. Basically, during this phase, the girls set up their storefronts, okay? And they sell products on their paper order cards. These orders need to be inputted into the system by October 17th, okay? That is the end deadline. You know, it shuts down at 11:59 on October 17th, and you no longer have access. I only have access one more day after that to just make sure I just do a once over, just like you guys do a once over, make sure everything looks kosher, and then I press the button and order the product from Trophy Nut Company, okay? What happens then is your service unit in between this has set up a date and time with me for them to take the delivery of all the troops' initial sale product in your town, okay? Deliveries begin the week of October 29th, and they go for about 2 weeks after that. So you will be given a date and time from your service unit to go and pick up your product from probably their home, or my service unit uses the fire department, you know, places like that, wherever they have a safe location where they can take the delivery. You would go, count your product, sign for the product, bring it back to your home, divvy it up by girl, and then have all the parents pick up from you, okay? That is initial sale. So the next phase of the sale is Ketchup Orders. So the girls continue selling. So on October 18th, they could still continue selling. Starting November 1st, you can then come down to a cupboard and pick up any additional items you need, okay? I don't let any ketchups being picked up before November 1st, because that's kind of when the initial sale deliveries begin. It's the fairest thing to do. I've had troops in the past try to skirt not getting their initial sale delivered to the service unit. They want to try to get their product beforehand. That's not fair. We try to play it as fair as we can. So you can start picking up your product the week of November 1st. So the girls can still continue to take orders, and then you just place your order from sometime November 1st through November 17th, and you just come and pick it up, okay? The difference is, once you pick up from the cupboard, you then do have to go back into the system and allocate the product you picked up to the girls. Because I know that your troop picked up product, but I don't know who you picked up for, okay? So you have to go back in and tell the computer who you picked up product for. So once you do that, the rewards automatically distribute on their own. So if you don't go in and do this, the girls are going to get the wrong rewards. So at the bitter end of the sale, usually around the end of November, if you have not allocated any of your product to the girls, me and Melinda go in and we just start allocating stuff to your girls, because we want them to get something. So it's not ideal. We don't know who you picked up for, but we assign it to the girls to the best of our knowledge, you know, trying to bump them up to next levels, because we want them to get something. So we don't really order extra rewards like it was done way in the past, because it's a waste of funds to have order extra rewards that we might use or we might not use. Or so I don't do that. That's not my way of work. So we do our best to allocate to the girls as best we can, but it really is best if you do it, because you know who you picked up for, okay? So I want to go over quick. It's kind of like a little backtrack to initial and a little bit for Ketchup. When a customer purchases online during initial sale, they're going to have 2 options. They're going to be able to take a promise order, which a promise order is they're purchasing online, they're paying online, but the girl is going to deliver the product. Okay, so it's like a promise that the girl's going to bring the product. Okay, direct shipped orders are just like they sound. The person is going to pay for shipping. It's going to be directly shipped to the person, you know, and that's how that one works. It automatically goes onto the girl's line, knows as it's an order, but there's no delivery on the girl end. Okay, once initial sale is over, the promise orders go away. Okay, it shuts down. And then the only options left are direct shipped orders or magazines. Okay, The only other magazines, there's no shipping. And a person can place a donation purchase for nuts, and there also would be no shipping there. But as of the end of initial sale, the promise order shut down. Okay. I think if we kept them open, it would just be too confusing for everybody on the troop end. The whole point of the sale is to be easy and smooth and not to have to figure out, did that come on initial sale? Is this a new item I have to go pick up at the cupboard? To me, it seems a little too confusing. And that's not the point of this. The point of this is to be a nice, easy sale in the fall. And we follow the same structure for cookies. So we try to keep it as similar for cookies. So if you can make it through nuts, you're going to do fine in cookies. The only difference in the structure is it's a different database. So an eBuddy is just as friendly as M2. So if you could get through this, you'll be fine for cookies. It's just the only difference is it's much longer. This is a shorter sale. So that is the difference between promise and direct shipped orders. Which brings us to our third phase, which is boot sales / standabouts. I'm going to talk about both. So a boot sale, as of right now, they are a go. Okay. I have had one of my workers, Chelsea, contacting stores to try to get insurance certificates on file and try to get the ball rolling. Some have been receptive, some have not. Okay. Some are, we're not quite ready yet. We don't know where we're going to be at that time. So we are trying our best to get as many insurances on file, ahead of time, but we're hitting a little bit of a wall on some stores. I will eventually, I'm going to try to get it done by either the end of this week or next week. We're going to have a list of all the stores that we have on file for their insurance on the website. I just have to create it. So I have all the sheets in my office. I just have to create the spreadsheet. And that way you have a go-to point to start where, we have insurance on file. She has also been contacting the railroads, to try to get that going. They're like, it takes forever to get anything approved with the railroad. So we started that nice and early. So we should be a go for some of the locations there, and they're outside, which is nice. People usually ask me about the malls. We don't use the mall for fall because the reason we started using the mall is because it's cold out during cookies and we were trying to get as many indoor locations as we could. The mall is not free. The mall charges me, well, I say me, but it means the council, thousands of dollars to use the location in the mall. So to me, I'd rather save those funds and use it for cookies and not for nuts. Also this year, I'm not even sure if I want to use the mall because the mall hasn't really been that fantastic lately. I don't know if anybody's been there recently, but there's not that many stores left and there's not that many people in the mall. So I really want to monitor that because I'd rather try to use the money somewhere else if need be to get us a different location if we had to. So I'm still monitoring that, but we'll make a decision for cookies on that. But we don't use the malls for fall. To me, it's such a short sale. It's really not worth it. And the weather's pretty nice in the fall. We try to save that for when it's really cold out, where the girls can go inside. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to explain to you how to do a boot sale the way 95% of the service units do it. Okay. There are 5% that do it differently. Okay. So before you go booking any boot sales or starting to, scout out locations, I want you to send an email to your service unit, full chair. If you need to know who that is, just let us know. And ask them how their way of work is. The last thing you want to do is step on anybody's toes or, steal anybody's thunder. You want to make sure that you're following the rules. You don't want to get the reputation of being rogue, So, but 95% of them are going to do it the way I'm telling you. That's why I go over it this way, opposed to the only 5%. So for instance, in my town, there's a Stop and Shop. So I would call Stop and Shop and I would ask for a date and time. They would say yes or no. So they say yes, hooray. Hopefully they're writing me down on the calendar. Then my next step would be to email my service unit full chair to let them know that I just contacted Stop and Shop and I made a boot sale for this day and this time. And our troop number, obviously. She then writes it on a calendar, okay? Now, it's very important not to skip that step, okay? Because what happens is, and again, I've been doing this a very long time, is I've had horror stories of troops that showed up at the same time at the same location. And I hate to say it this way, but the girls are never the problem in Girl Scouts. It's usually the adults. Okay. And I see people shaking their heads because they know I'm 100% correct. And I've had battles in front of stores, cursing in front of stores. I mean, it's unheard of. So the reason for that step is for them to try to catch any overlapping. Okay. You have to think, if you call a store that's very busy, we're not their main concern. They might get distracted, not write us down on the calendar. And especially like a grocery store has like 15 different managers. So one day you get one manager, the next day you get another manager. They don't know what the other one said. So it's just, I put it out there because the last thing you want to do is have crying girls and screaming adults outside of a supermarket. Okay. So just put that out there. Make sure you let your full chair know. I usually just send a quick email. It's fine as long as you let them know. Okay. So now you've let the store know, you've let your service unit know. Now you have to let me know. Okay. I need to make sure that I have enough product. So when you pick up, I have product for you. Okay. Especially the first weekends and our theme weekends, we usually have a lot of boot sales go out that weekend. Our cupboards only hold a certain amount of product. So I need to know at least like a week in advance. We say a week, the early is even better. So that way I can make sure I know whether I need to replenish my cupboard or whether my inventory is okay. Okay. So that's why we do that. So once you reserve it online, you pick your location and your time you're going to pick up, just like you would for a ketchup order. And then you would come pick up your product, you would sign for it. I give out a different amount for boot sales opposed to Standabouts. I'll go over Standabouts in a moment. Okay. So what happens now is you're going to pick up your product. If you do a boot sale on like a Saturday, I don't recommend picking it up a week before or anything like that. Try to pick it up that Thursday or Friday before. It doesn't have to be you. It could be someone else from your troop. It could be a parent. It could be, a dad who lives in the area or works in the area. It doesn't matter. Okay. It just, someone has to sign for the product. So you're going to come down that Thursday or Friday and pick up your products. I recommend doing this again because the fall tends to have unpredictable weather. One day it could be super cold and the next day it's 95 degrees out. You don't want to have to schlep all the chocolate into the house if it's going to be a 90-degree day and then schlep it back out to the car. You want to be able to just leave it in your car like the day before, if it's cool enough out. So if it is going to be a really hot weekend out, I might just have you sign like a weather alert just to kind of put in the forefront of your mind. I have to bring the chocolate in the house because the last thing I want is chocolate return that sounds like a thud in the can, because that's unsellable. And once the council receives it, I don't return it, so it becomes ours. Okay. So just keep that in mind. So you're going to count that, you're going to leave, you're going to do your boot sale. We ask that you return the leftovers by that Wednesday. So that way I can use the leftovers for the next weekend. Okay. That way I know whether I have to get a delivery from the warehouse to replenish the cupboards. At that point, you normally would use a deposit slip and go to the bank and make your deposit. But now you're just going to put that money into your troop account. Okay. At the end of the sale, we're going to pull it out and you're done. Okay. We do still have the option to pay online. So if that is something you want to do, you can do that. But on the easy schmeezy, you can just put it into your troop account and it becomes part of your money due and we take it out at the end of the sale. Okay. Standabouts are pretty similar, except a standabout is a parent run lemonade stand on their property with just their child. It's not the whole troop. If it's the whole troop, it's a boot sale. Then comes insurance. Then you need the insurance if you're doing a boot sale. Because what happens is, if you're just doing it with your parent, it's just you and your child on your front lawn, okay? Anytime your troop leaves their meeting spot, it's considered a trip. So if you do it with more than just your child, it's now a troop trip. Then you have to fill out a trip approval. Then you have to have insurance. Then you have to go through all the hoops, okay? So Standabouts are more for one-on-one with their child. They would do the same procedure. They would reserve it. They would come pick it up a couple days before. I do let them hold it for 2 weeks because Standabouts tend to take a longer time to sell. Maybe they want to do it twice. I ask for the extra product back. Now, here's the difference. In the past, as soon as the items are returned, we put that transaction into the system. I'm not going to do that this year because, again, new way of work. If I do that, it then becomes part of the troop bill that's due. Okay. So let's say we have a parent who returns their product but forgets to pay the bill. Okay. So then it becomes part of your troop money that's due, and that doesn't seem fair. Okay. So we're going to hold off entering those transactions until we get the confirmation credit card payment from that parent. Then the transaction will be entered with the payment. Those people will have to pay for their standabout online. There is no handing off the money to the troop or anything like that. It's strictly online. That's kind of the way we worked it the last year. I'm sorry, I'm not used to talking this much, so the last 2 days I'm starting to lose my voice. So I think that's going to be a better way of work, because the last thing I want is to put these transactions in. I mean, because there's some troops that do quite a bit of standabouts with their daughters and things like that, is at the end of the sale trying to pull the money out of the troop account, and then there's nothing in there because you didn't even know it existed. So I think this will be a better way of work. It's a little more tracking on our end, but oh well, we'll figure it out and it'll be fine. So Melinda, how are we on questions?
We're good. We just have one regarding, is there an app?
There is no app for nuts, okay? There is only the cookie app for cookies. They haven't evolved enough to get to that point. I'm hoping maybe a couple of years from now, hopefully we'll have an app, but there isn't one at the moment.
There was a question regarding how many hours can brownies be at a booth?
I don't think there's any per se rule. I mean, when they're little, I would say personally, maybe 2-hour shifts. You don't want all of them there at the same time, especially if you have a larger troop. Make a shift of like maybe 2 to 3, maybe 3 to 4 girls at a time, and have them sign up for different time frames. The last thing you want is like 15 girls, standing outside a store running amok. Then you always have the coffee clutch of the moms who refuse to leave, with their Starbucks, and they're in the way too. So the last, and people are laughing, but it's happened, and I'm right. But you don't want that to happen where people coming out and being like, they're blocking the doors, and then they ask you to leave. You don't want that to happen. So I would say keep it small, keep it like 3 to 4. As they get older, they're more manageable. So maybe you could go a little bit larger, especially daisies too. I would keep those at like 3 to 4. And make sure when they're little, you always bring that extra parent with you for the bathroom runs. Because when they're little, they just love going to the bathroom. I remember that from when my kids were little. They like to visit every bathroom in Suffolk County. So make sure you always keep that extra parent around just to go like run into the bathroom with them. But anything else, Melinda?
Yes, there was a lot of questions regarding how do the leaders know if parents take out standabouts?
Here's the thing, the new way of work, you don't really need to know, because we're not putting it in the system until it's paid for. So you have no responsibility to the standabout at all. Only the person who took it out is going to be responsible. So you can ask the parents again to tell you when they're going to do these things. But at the end of the day, there's nothing to worry about because we're not entering it unless the bill's paid for. So if that bill's not paid for, the kid's not getting credit for that product for their rewards until it is. Okay. We would go in as counsel and assign it to the girls, because we know at that point who took that standabout out and can give the girl the credit, because it's just a one-on-one with their parent. If we have siblings, me and Melinda, we're talking about this because it's like the bane of our existence. We've had a lot of parents try to take out standabouts, and they have like I do. I have 3 daughters. And last year we tried to allow it where you could take it out on one form and then we'd split it after. It never works out good. Never, ever. What happens is the parent doesn't know how to pay. They don't know what to pay for each kid. One troop's getting the full payment. It ends up being a nightmare on the back end. So if, for instance, with my 3 daughters, if they wanted to do a standabout, I would just have 3 different sheets for them. You know, we could take one Standabout and divvy it up between the three of them, which is fine, but there's none of this sharing a form because it was a disaster, you know, and it's, parents don't quite understand. They just think, well, I paid the bill, but you paid it under the wrong troop. You know, so one troop's getting a payment that it really didn't belong there, it belonged in the other kid's troop. So we're gonna play that game a little bit different this year. So anything else, Melinda?
Oh, we're good for now.
Okay, moving on. I don't know why I have a red line across my screen. Okay, so we did talk about Standabouts. I think I've kind of beaten this down, you know, so if you have any additional questions, like one-on-one, feel free to email us. Again, they work similar to a boot sale, except it's one-on-one with the parent. And they do the same thing. They're gonna return them just like a boot sale can. Only things that are not returnable are initial sale and catch-up orders, okay? We take back boot sales, we take back Standabouts. Excuse me. So just so we make that clear, okay? Anything you order on initial sale belongs to the troop, okay? Anything you pick up as a catch-up belongs to the troop. Anything from a boot sale or a Standabout, you can return the leftover, okay? So we're going to talk quick about Care to Share, just in case anybody really has any questions about it. Care to Share resembles our Operation Cookie program during cookies. If someone doesn't want to purchase an item, but they still want to, you know, help out, they can give you a $7 donation, which is our lowest price point. And then what happens is at the end of the sale, all of those donations that were purchased, we bring on over to Long Island Cares, which is right around the block from the office in Comac. Then they disperse all of those donations to the cupboards around Suffolk County. It's really a nice program. The really nice thing about it is the Trophy Nut Company, we deal directly with the vice president because it's a very small company. So it's nice to work with a smaller company. So he looks to see what's left in the warehouse at the end of the sale. He doesn't just donate $7 products. If there are $10, $12 products that are left in the warehouse, he donates those too. So if I have 3,000 items to donate that people have purchased the $7 for, he donates all different nominations. So it really is a nice thing that he does. Last year, I think we actually, whatever the number was, there was still a little bit left in the warehouse after that. He donated it all. He was like, what am I going to do? Take back a little bit all the way back to Ohio? He said, it'll cost me more in shipping. So he donated it all to Long Island Cares, which is really a nice thing to do. He didn't have to do that, you know? So it's really a nice program, especially for people who maybe have allergies or dietary restrictions. And like I said, they can purchase this online with no shipping costs, okay? True proceeds, we'll hit on that real quick. True proceeds, every nut item that is sold, the troop gets 80 cents per unit, okay? It's actually more than cookies. Cookies, we give 70 cents. Now, direct shipped orders, the ones where the people pay for shipping, we give 10% of that order because when they do direct shipped orders, there are more items to choose from than just what's on the order card. So they do sell like gift baskets or variety packs or things like that. So there might be items on there that are $30, $40 items. So instead of just giving the troop 80 cents, we give them $4, you know, which is much better than just getting 80 cents for a $40 item. So just keep that, the system keeps track of all of this for you. Magazines, every subscription sold, we give $1.50 per order, okay? So that's another really good markup on that. So the troop has a lot of potential to earn some funds here. Now, if you are a cadet, senior, or ambassador troop, you can opt out of the rewards. Now, what I mean by that is the tchotchkes, okay? The penguins, the necklaces, the clipboards, the things like that. They can opt out of those rewards and get an extra 15 cents per nut item, okay? So instead of getting 80 cents per unit, a cadet and older troop has the potential of getting 95 cents per unit, okay? It's an option on your dashboard when you first sign in. And you just click the button and you turn off the rewards and it'll automatically figure out your extra proceeds. So it's really a nice little system. And like I said, this year, you won't have to wait for us to rebate you because the money will already be in your account, with the exception of anybody who does 100% online. then we will just rebate you at the end of the season like we would in the past, okay? This is just a really big close-up of the rewards card. Just quick here. There's a special set of rewards here for initial sale. So during that initial sale phase, the girls have the opportunity to earn the goal getter patch, the penguin necklace, or the t-shirt at 50 units, okay? Then what's good here is I call it double dipping. So let's say the girl sells 50 units on initial sale, okay? So she's getting all those rewards. It's gonna count towards the next level. So when she starts doing ketchup orders and boot sales, she's already earned the 15, the 30, and she's only 5 units away from the next level, okay? So I call it kind of like double dipping. So if a cadet troop decides that, cadet and older troop decides that they want to opt out, let's say that they want to opt out, they're still entitled to the initial sale rewards, okay? They're gonna lose all of these little tchotchke rewards here in the middle. They're still gonna get the patches. We still give them the patches to put on their uniforms. And they're still entitled to the premium rewards, okay? So if a girl sells 150 units, now, and I think I said it earlier, but just in case I didn't, a unit is 1 nut item and 2 units is 1 magazine. Okay, so we double up on the magazine. If they sell 150 units, they're going to be invited to our super seller event. Last year, because of COVID, we kept putting it off, hoping that we could do something in person. It never happened. But what we did do was, my cat is trying to attack me. What we did do is we did a paint night. We did a virtual paint night with the girls. So the parents came and picked up their kits. They brought them home. We did a Zoom paint night. We hired a company to do a Zoom paint night. And the kids seemed to really enjoy it. It was like a camping setting. But they seemed to really enjoy it. So I'm glad we got to do something for them, because we kept trying to put it off, hoping we would be able to do something, and it just never happened because of COVID. They also would be entitled to the 200 unit reward, a free week of camp, which the parents, I have to say, girls hit this mark just for the camp. It's camp is over $300 a week. So that's a big savings there if your child participates to that level. We added another level in for 300. We're making up a slumber party pack. So it's the really cute penguin sleeping bag with some sleeping stuff. And it's this really cool, like, cloud bed that the girls sleep on. So we're just trying to make it light and fun for them, to really want to, get these rewards. We want to give them as much as we can. If it makes them happy, it makes us happy. So here is another chance to earn a different avatar patch. It's called the Cookie Crossover Patch. The point of this patch is to get the girls to participate in fall and cookies, okay? So if the girl sends out her 18 emails in fall, and that's all she has to do for fall, she has to create her avatar and send out 18 emails, okay? And then sells 150 boxes of cookies, she earns this patch. At the very end of the cookie season, one company sends me a spreadsheet, another company sends me a spreadsheet, I make them talk together, we figure out who earns it, and they get mailed directly to the girl, okay? So it's really a cute way to get the girls to participate in both sales, okay? We pretty much hit all the marks on here, but I just want to make sure I didn't miss anything. Again, the PowerPoint is more for me than it is for you. Make sure the troops are completing their ACH forms. Like I said earlier, I want to make sure we have really fresh, clean data. So I need a new one from everyone with a voided check. Make sure you're completing your troop full manager agreement, so that way we know you exist. So that way we can add you into the system and you can have access to the M2 system. Okay. Make sure that you're looking for your registration link once we add you into the system. I've been pretty quick at getting everybody in. Everybody up to this point should be in. So if you filled out your manager agreement, you should be in the system at this point. Okay. There's just a little disclaimer here. Make sure that we do put them in manually at this point. So if you're doing it on a Saturday afternoon, I might not get to it till Monday. I do try to sometimes do some work on the weekends, but sports are back up and running. So I might be a little out and about. So just bear with us and give us till Monday to get that done. Once you sign into the M2 site, it's going to prompt you to watch a video. Okay, the video you cannot bypass, but it is quite handy. It's going to explain each of the little areas in the M2 site. It's not too long. You can rewatch it if you forget some of the stuff that they show. It is also going to prompt you to create your avatar, which you should do, because when the girls, they have a little virtual room in their site, they can click on their troop photo and you'll pop up in it. And they'd love to see the leaders and the troop chairs in there because they think it's hysterical that the adults did it. And also it's going to prompt you new this year to send out a parent email blast. What the system has shown in the past is when the email comes from M2 or GSSC, sometimes parents don't open it. If you do this where you send it out through the system while you're signed on, it looks like it came from you. So you could send out the reminder emails to the parents yourselves, and it looks like it's an email from you as long as you're signed into the system, okay? Once you get into the system, double check the girl roster. I think we talked about this before. You're gonna see last year, this year, double check if you need anybody deleted or if you need anybody added. We're more than happy to help you. There's 9,000 emails you can contact us by: product sales at GSSC, customer care at GSSC, our personal emails, K. Dreschler, MG Aquinto. There's so many avenues. Just whatever you use is fine by us. Okay, so in your in your training manual online, gives you some tips and tricks, for parent caregiver meetings. Basically, we talked about all this. Host your training night with your parents. I'm going to show you the activity kit, so that way you can keep the kids busy while you're talking to the parents about the paperwork. Hand out your paperwork, get your parent permission slip signed, everything like that, okay? Everything we've talked about already. Again, parent permission slips. Let's go to the next slide. Important dates. We pretty much killed all of these. There's just a couple here I want to shout out to. We have some themed booth weekends, okay? October 22nd, that weekend is our first booth sale weekend, and we're theming it National Nut Day Booth Weekend, okay? It's actually National Nut Day, I think, that Friday, so we've morphed it into a weekend. So anybody who does a Standabout or a booth sale that weekend will get this special patch. We wait till the end of the sale, and then we mail all the patches out at once. I don't pre-order the patches until I know how many I need. Okay, so I wait till the end of the sale. Once everything is returned, I get a head count. I order a little bit extra in case there's a couple errors, and then we place the order. They're custom patches, so they're a little pricey, so I don't want to, order ones that I don't really need. So I wait till the end of the sale, and that way everybody has an opportunity to get it. Okay, then our next one is November 5th weekend, where it's going to be Girl Scout Strong Booth Sale Weekend, another cute patch that we're theming. And then our very last weekend, the 12th through the 14th, it'll be Girl Scouts Give Back Booth Sale Weekend. So that'll be another theme weekend. And on top of those, they'll get the basic boot sale patch too. So there's lots of patches to be earned here. This is just our thank you slide. Make sure that you're liking our Facebook pages and our Twitters and all of our YouTubes and things like that, because we do what's called in-time training, okay? What happens is my supervisor, who's really good at making those little cartoon videos that you see all over the place, we send out little reminders like that, so that way you don't forget, like it's time to do this. Here's a little 2-minute video to show you how to do it, okay? We're gonna be sending out newsletters this year. Every 2 weeks, you're gonna be getting a newsletter from us of what you should be working on that week, what's coming up, reminders, things like that. So feel free to share them with your parents if you like, but it's really a good thing. We usually post first on social media, so really should like us there. So what I'm going to do now is figure out what I'm doing. I'm going to try to share my screen, but I want to go on the website. Here we go. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do is we're going to go to the GSSC website. Okay. So this is gssc.us, the basic website. This cookies plus button is our product sales area. So you go here to Mags and Munchies. Okay. This is the section for the girls. This is the section for the adults and the leaders. Okay. So you click on for volunteers. Here's your guidebook. It's right there, smack when you hit the button. Okay. Really well put together, short and sweet and to the point. Okay. There's links embedded in here. So Ketchup Orders, you want to reserve it, you click the link. You want to know the covered hours? Here you go, you click that link. Trying to like just find all the links for you. There's tons of them in here. You want to pay for your products online for your Standabout? Here's the link. You want to reserve a Standabout or a boot sale? There's the link. It's the same form together. So if you go to reserve your Standabout, it's the same form. You're just going to tell me what you're picking up. Okay. There's no need for two forms to make everybody's life a little crazy. So we just do that. So if we go back to this section and I don't click on the guidebook and you go to training videos and resources, there's other trainings here. Like I said, we've given a couple to the service unit, documents and forms. You can go to the guidebook here. You want your troop full product manager agreement to fill out. Here it is. ACH form. Here it is. Ran out of parent care agreements. They're right here. The social media toolkit. Here it is. You could forward this link, just copy and paste the, up here in the search engine, and you could send this to the parents, okay? What you do is you click right here and it brings you to a folder where you could download everything you want. Okay, next is our activity guide. Like I said, it was 27 pages of fantastic stuff. Coloring pages for the little ones. Icebreaker games, word searches, ideas. They can list a bunch of people they want to ask to purchase from them. Okay, they can then go home and ask mom and dad to help them get phone numbers and things like that. Goal sheet for the little ones or the older ones to keep track of what they're selling. There were some really cute things as facts about the emperor penguin, how to draw an emperor penguin. I mean, it really is how to make blubber. Like that would be cute for like a junior or cadet, It's really snowball ice cream. It's here. Okay, you don't need to recreate the wheel. Okay, it's all there and ready to go. So now I'm going to go to the M2 site. The only thing is I'm going to just switch to last year, only because I haven't given myself a fake troop yet for this year. So when you sign in as a troop, this is what you're going to see. Okay, there's sales in here. You're not going to have any sales yet. Okay, it's going to be all blank and stuff like that. Okay, so you could do your parent and guardian email blast by clicking this link here. Okay, when you first sign on, I said it's going to make you watch a video. You can rewatch the video here if you want to go back and do something. Okay, you want to send additional messages out to your parents, you could click right here. You could pick who you want to talk to. Participants who have not sent out their emails yet, you could click on there and it will just trigger the parents who have not sent out their emails yet. So it's a really nice little system. When you first log in, I like to look at the graph. It makes me happy. When you first log in, you want to click on Troops and Girls. Click on your Girl Scouts tab. And you want to make sure all your girls are in there, okay? If you see people that shouldn't be in there, just let me know and we'll take them out. If we need to add people in, we'll add them in too. Here's one of mine. Here's another one of mine. Not all the girls participated, but a good portion of them did. We usually do boot sales. We didn't do any last year because it wasn't allowed. Paper order entry, okay? So when you want to enter the girls' forms, their initial sale card orders, paper order entry, you click on it, you click on a girl. This is what it looks like. You're going to put in the totals, okay? The total for the whole card. At the bottom, again, this is last year's data. There would be a pink button here that said save or submit or whatever verbiage they use. It then would close and bring you back to the previous screen. And then you pick the next girl, okay? Until the 17th at 11:59, you could go back in and change those numbers, okay? So once you put it in, it's not set in stone until the 17th, okay? So you can go back in and do that. Okay, so let's see what else we want to look at here. Rewards. If you're a cadet and older and you want to opt out, there will be a little button here to opt out of rewards, but it's not showing because the season is over. So That's something that's usually there. Play on the reports section, okay? When the rewards come in and you don't know who gets what, special reports, play around in here. Girl Scout rewards, it pulls it up as an Excel spreadsheet. It's pulling up my other stuff too. And tells you exactly who gets what, okay? I get a lot of those emails of, I don't know who gets what, and I don't mind helping you out, but you have the tools, they're right here. If you don't know who gets what product, you know, you're really like, I have no idea who ordered what, all sales. The girls will pop up. You can look at each girl's sales individually. Okay. When it comes time for allocation, we'll have directions ready to go for you. It's super easy. There'll be a button over here for moves. It's called the move button. Okay. And you're going to move the product from troop to girl. Just follow the directions step by step. It's super easy. You'll get it done in 2 seconds and be like, oh, that's how you do that. So that is pretty much everything you would need to know for doing the full program. Okay. I just really suggest you getting into the site and playing with it and getting comfortable with it. Okay. Most importantly, check your Girl Scouts in the system. Make sure everybody's there. One other thing I do want to show you, which I forgot. This is before when we were talking about the new way to do rebates. In fact, I'm going to go back and show you as I do it. Click on the troop summary amount due report. Okay. Collected from customers is what you should be depositing into your troop account. Okay. Again, this is last year's data, so just ignore a little bit of the numbers down here. But this number here is what you should be depositing. And this is what your rebate would be. Okay. So at the end of the day, we would be pulling out $700.05. Okay. So it's not a hard site to use. It's pretty friendly. But if you have any problems with it, you just let us know. I created my avatar last year. I actually had pink hair last year. So my little avatar has pink hair. But you could go back in, you could change your avatar. I have a mask on too. That I thought that was pretty cute. But it's fun to make your own. You know, I think it's fun. The girls like to see it. They think it's funny. Okay. So Melinda, do we have any more questions? Did I lose Melinda? Melinda, you there?
I'm here. Sorry.
So, that's
I was having
okay.
problems. Okay, so go over please when they can sign up.
When who can sign up?
They can sign up for the site.
The troops and the service units have access right now to get in, as long as we have their agreement on file so we can enter them. Girls will have access to the site starting September 20th.
Okay, so girls that don't sell, will that affect their per girl average?
Yes, it will. Well, here's the thing. Yes, it will, but no, it won't. Okay. So if you're going for, Melinda, do we even have any rewards that are per girl average? Is that the t-shirts or is that cookies? Am I thinking wrong?
Yeah.
I'm not remembering. Here's the thing. If we have a reward that's a per girl average, I have both going on in my head right now. I apologize. So let's say the per girl average for the reward is 50 units. Okay. So you have one girl that their parent doesn't want to sell, and you can't force them to sell. We just ask you to promote it in a positive light and ask them to sell. Okay. It's not mandatory, but we do ask that you at least portray it in a positive light. Okay. So let's say that one girl doesn't sell, but another girl sells 100 units. At the end of the day, they've made the mark. Okay. So if the per girl average is 50 and one girl sold 100 and one girl sold 50, they both hit the 50 mark. It's not going to hurt you. But if you don't have that kind of scenario, then yes, it is going to hurt you in the long run. Okay. So I hope that explained it clear enough.
Okay, if they don't see their girls on their site, they contact either you or I.
Yes. Yes, we'll pull them up and we'll add them in for you.
Could you just go over the full product receipt books again?
Sure, sure. So the receipt, we give you two types of receipts. We're giving you the initial sale receipt, where you basically want to use that instead of collecting their order cards. So you would hand that form to the parent and say, give me your totals. So that way you don't have to do it, okay? Then you have the receipts that have 4 to a page. They're also a 2-ply carbon. Anytime you give a person product from a Ketchup, okay, let's say you picked up items for a Ketchup order, and you're giving them to the parent so that way they can go collect the money, okay? Give them a receipt of what you gave them and how much they owe you, okay? Make that paper trail so that way if you ever need to backtrack into something, you could go back and figure it out, almost like auditing yourself, okay? You want to be able to, for someone to come in and audit you and be able to figure out what's going on, okay? If you don't like those receipts, create your own, okay? If you want to use a different receipt for them just collecting payment, use a different receipt for just payment. Use those receipts if you're giving product. Again, I don't care how you do it. Just do it, okay? Create your paper trail. We try to save paper, like we did the guidebook this year online. You know, we're trying to pull back on using as much paper as we can, but there's some things that you just need a paper trail for, and this is one of them. And Melinda, please tell me I'm correct when I say when we call these poor people and they have, I owe money. What do you mean I owe money? I paid everything that people handed me. I get that one a lot. Well, that doesn't mean they handed you the right amount. They just handed you money. So it's up to you to figure out that who paid you and who still owes, okay? And we're more than happy to help you with that, but we need some sort of tools to go on, okay? It's a horrible feeling. Melinda comes into my office all the time. This board troop has no idea who owes the money. And I'm like, okay, well, let's start from scratch. Let's pull everything out. Let's see what we can figure out. And at the end of the day, we try our best to help, but if you don't give us the tools and stuff, we can't help that much. Okay.
Kelly, hit a little bit on when girls transfer from one troop to another and they have nuts sales.
Okay. If they transfer before the initial sale is over, okay, the product will just move with them. Okay. Once initial sale is over, it really, it's kind of like that gray area. I tend to want to leave the product with the original troop. But sometimes, you know, I don't know, we really need to discuss this and come up with a solid way of work that, I mean, the product should really follow the girl to her new troop. But part of me thinks that the original troop helped them get their initial sale. So I don't know. I'm thinking at the end of the day, the product is going to have to move with the girl to her new troop. So that way she can, you know, coordinate all her rewards as a lump sum. If half is in one troop and half is in another troop, it's not going to work. So at the end of the day, all those products are going to have to move with her.
And also someone wanted to know if the leader and the cookie,
Both into the system?
Yeah, will be able to make an avatar.
Yeah, what'll happen is if whoever wants to have access to the site just needs to fill out a troop chair agreement. So even if it's a leader who wants to have access to the site along with their troop chair leader, you know, with their troop chair, that's fine too. You know, I just don't recommend, like, if you have like 5 adults in your troop, don't have everybody in there, because almost like they'll have access to do stuff. And too many hands kind of makes a mess, okay? So I would definitely say, though, a troop leader and the troop chair, perfectly fine. If they're not the same person, most of the time the troop leader is the nut chair. But for the instances where they're not, that's perfectly fine. Definitely okay.
Okay, we're all good.
Okay. So if there are no more questions, you are free to leave. Thank you for attending. I really appreciate it. And like I said, we are here. So if you can't get your volunteer, that's your service unit on the horn, or, you know, they're taking a little time to respond, you know, they're volunteers. So this is not their main job. It is our main job. So if you can't get one of them, I always say try to start with your volunteer. But if, you know, you can't get an answer fast enough, maybe it's something you need really fast, shoot us an email. We're more than happy to help. Okay. We might even CC them on the email so they know what's going on too. Okay. Thank you again so much for spending the evening with us. And we hope to see you at the cupboard.